Hello, this is Mike with MatterFix.io, and this is another one in our series of pro tips videos that we're doing for the Matterport service provider community. Kind of walk you through typical problems you might encounter when using your Matterport camera, how to diagnose issues, and then what the options are for getting back up and going, whether it's a repair or replacement of a charger, etc. Today's video, we're going to talk about the charger, charging the Matterport cameras. The camera comes from Matterport with a really high quality medical grade charger. It's your typical AC charger. It has a cord that plugs in here, 110 volts in. If you're in Europe, I believe you just use a different cord configuration to go from the 220 or 240. And it ends up 110 in, and then the output is 15 volts DC at 6 amps. Now, these two numbers are important. It needs to be 15 volts as the power level or the voltage level, and then the amount of power that it pushes through is 6 amps. And the end of the charger is your typical 2.5 by 5.5 millimeter DC jack. The positive terminals on the the negative terminals on the outside, the positive terminals on the inside, which is standard configuration for these type of jacks. So now I'm going to walk you through, we're going to change camera angles, and I'm going to walk you through kind of how to troubleshoot your power adapter and see if there's a problem with it or if there might be a problem with something else. Okay, so now let's start talking about how you test a charger to see if it's good or not. The first thing you obviously want to do is plug it in. You have 110 volts comes in, the 15 volts goes out. If power is getting to the brick, this light should light up. You can see here's one that's not plugged in. The light is not lit up. The newer chargers, I believe this light is blue. On some of the older ones, this light is green. But if you plug it in and this light doesn't come on, that means it's not getting power. Either this is bad or it's not getting power into it. So you want to double check this connection. These can tend to get loose over time. You may not realize it. It may not be fully plugged in. Make sure it's fully plugged in. Then also double check and make sure that the outlet that you're plugging into is good. You'd hate to be plugged into a bad outlet and that's all it is. So you always want to check that. Now, if you've got a light on here, then you know power's getting into the block. So the next thing you want to do is you want to check and see if power is coming out of the charging end of the cable. So this is a good working camera. Ideally you want to know that the camera you're plugging it into is fully functional, so you're not, possibly dealing with a problem with the camera. If you push the battery level light and it comes on and shows you the status, then this camera is good. If it's a camera you've been using and you know it's good, you should be fine. But immediately when you plug in, regardless of the battery state, the batteries could be totally depleted. Depleted meaning when you don't have anything plugged in, you push this button, nothing happens. But even if the batteries are totally depleted, as soon as you plug in your charger, the OLED panel should light up. If this OLED panel doesn't light up, then it's either the charger's not outputting or possibly the charger port, but you would have probably known about that before. You can try using a different charger and swapping out. But you can always go ahead and blow that port out with some compressed air if you think there might be something in there. But your charger should immediately light up the OLED panel when you plug it in. So if it's not doing that and the camera's good, that's a pretty good indication that your charger's bad. Another thing you can do is borrow a friend's camera or take your charger to a friend who's got a good camera, try plugging into it, see what happens, or borrow a charger from somebody, a good charger, one that knows good. You come home, plug that charger into your camera, and if everything works, then you pretty much eliminate everything, so probably your charger's bad. Now, the last way I'm going to show you, and the most foolproof way to test your charger, is just using a simple voltmeter. You can get these at probably Walmart, Amazon, I think, for like 10 bucks. This one's more advanced than what you need. They sell some little ones that would do fine. You just want to set for testing voltage I'm going to set it on 20. This output's at 15, so you want the setting to be a little bit above whatever it is that you're testing. So 15 volts, I've got it set at 20. And like I said before, on your connectors, this outer one is always going to be negative. The positive is going to be inside here, and you want to test and see what the voltage is. So you just simply hold the negative on the outside, put the positive on the inside, boom, immediately 15.45. And that's normal. You're never going to get exactly 15. They're usually going to be slightly over. So that's the foolproof way, really, to test your charger. And like I said, you can pick up those little voltmeters for $10 probably at Walmart. I know you can get them on Amazon for that. So that kind of walks through the various things that you can do. Try plugging into your camera, check the cord, plug it into somebody else's camera, borrow a charger, and then, like I said, the most foolproof way is just to have a little voltmeter and do a quick test on it. Okay, so now we've walked you through how to do some testing and diagnose to see if your charger is in fact bad. If your charger is bad, we do sell the OEM replacement ones at MatterFix. They're $79 plus shipping in the continental US. If you're Canada or anywhere outside, you need to contact us because we would need to charge more for the shipping. But we do keep those in stock. Now, another question that comes up, sometimes somebody will be in a remote location or in a real bind and they can't get an OEM charger. Like, oh, can I use another charger? Well, Matterport and us, we advise against that if at all possible. If the voltage or the amperage isn't right, you can damage your camera. If your camera is under warranty from Matterport and you use a non-OEM charger, I believe that will void the warranty. But if you're in a pinch and you're going to try something, make sure that it's a DC. The output of the AC adapter is DC 15 volts. You don't want to be 16, 14. Make sure it outputs at 15 volts. And also make sure that the amperage on it is 6 amps. This charger is 15 volts, 6 amps, which means it puts out 90 watts of power. You could go lower on the wattage. You could do a 5 or a 4 watt, and it's just going to take longer to charge your camera. But you really ideally need to be finding 15 volts, 6 amps if you're going to use a replacement charger. And if you get stuck on any of this, obviously, like all of our other videos, we say if there's still questions, feel free to reach out to us. The email is info@matterfix.io. You can message us on Facebook. I believe we have our phone number on our website. But we're here to help you whatever issues come up. Thanks.